Bitcoin price will go down to 10,000 and even to zero. On 21st of July, 2 days ago, a very important conference called the B Word by the most powerful and influencer of the financial come together to add insight to the Bitcoin world. Hello, everybody. Besides COVID-19, one of the hottest topic today is cryptocurrency. Is the price going up? Is the price coming down? My name is Richard Tan from Success Resources. We are the world leading education provider. Every week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 2:30 p.m. I will be making videos talking about cryptocurrency investing. So if this is a topic that you would like to learn more about, make sure you subscribe to the channel, gently tap thumbs up, notification bell, so that whenever we make a video, you will be the first to know. Now, before I bring up my honored guest, Dr. Clemen Chiang, I'd like to open by giving you the introduction of the key people behind B Word Conference. Now, basically, the three people that is behind the keyword, the B Word Conference is none other than Elon Musk, Jack Dorsey, and Cathie Wood. Now, as we all know, that Elon Musk is the founder of Tesla, and he is one of the richest men in the world. Now, he's worth several, more than $100 billion. Now, I first get to be impressed by Elon Musk, not because of Tesla, but because Elon Musk, he has a goal, he has a dream, and this dream is so amazing, so fantastic. Now, I couldn't even believe it when I heard about this dream of his. You know, I just can't imagine anybody had this dream. Do you know what is his dream? Now, many times we heard people say, you know, like motivational speakers and everybody teach us to dream big. But you know what's Elon Musk's dream? Elon Musk's dream is to die on Mars. Can you imagine to die? How do you have this dream to die on Mars? Not only that, he wants to bring 1 billion people to Mars. I mean, this is a dream that's so big that you can't afford not to notice him. So Elon Musk, right, has a very big dream, and that's the reason why perhaps he is really an amazing person, and perhaps that's what made him become the richest man in the world. Now, as we all know that Elon Musk is the founder of Tesla. Today, everybody say, wow, Tesla, you know, Tesla is amazing. Tesla is a market leader and has a foresight, has a vision, right, to penetrate the electric car when nobody else thought of that. In fact, Elon Musk is the first person to have this vision, right? So today, Tesla is the leading electric car, and he has spotted the trend. Now, he has not only spotted that trend, he's also the first, I think, entrepreneur to start SpaceX. Now, traditionally going to space rocket controlled by the government, NASA, you know, the Russian government, the Chinese government, but he's the first person to make it private, right? To make it private. Of course, today, you know, you have Jeff Bezos, right? The founder of Amazon.com, Richard Branson, all flying to the space. But he is the first person to have envisioned that. Now, he is also, whatever Elon Musk do, is always many years ahead of everybody. That's why when he is in this conference, the B Word Conference, we really have to pay attention to what he say and how it apply to our life, because he is so many years thinking ahead of all the ordinary people. Now, the next person, I did not notice him. I did not even know him until you know, the election of Donald Trump. He's none other than Jack Dorsey. Now, Jack Dorsey is a founder and CEO of Twitter. Now, I don't use Twitter very much, and therefore I wasn't like quite paying attention on Twitter. But Twitter is one of the most powerful instrument during the Donald Trump presidential election, right? He has mobilized the country, even the world, and kind of make the world sit up by just tweeting. So this is a very powerful tool. And the founder of this tool, Twitter, is none other than Jack Dorsey. Now, Jack Dorsey come into this cryptocurrency picture, definitely not by accident. Now he is being the CEO of a leading company in the world. When he come into this cryptocurrency scene, he has also got his own thought, right? He put his money where his mouth is, and whatever he says is very, very important. And the third person is none other than Cathie Wood. Now, I first came to know about Cathie Wood only not too long ago, maybe a month ago, when I found out, and when during my research, that Cathie Wood is also known as the Warren Buffett of the tech industry. Now, we all respect Warren Buffett because he is an amazing investor, one of the richest men in the world, and the most genius investor. He's a master of investing, and everybody quoted him as far as financial industry is concerned, as far as trading is concerned, as far as stock market is concerned. Warren Buffett is the master and the genius of everything. Now, if anybody were to equate Cathie Wood as the Warren Buffett of the tech industry, then you must also pay attention to Cathie Wood. And these three heavyweight, world-class investor, billionaire, come together for this B Word conference. Everybody should sit up and listen to this conference and know their thought. And for this, I would like to invite my friend, and he is the foremost authority on financial investing in our part of the world, and perhaps in the whole world too, my friend, Dr. Clemen Chiang. Dr. Clemen Chiang, we are so happy for you to be here with us today.
Wow, thank you so much, Richard, for inviting me. I'm so honored to be speaking together with you and addressing some of the interesting questions that you really lined up for me today. Thank you, Richard.
Now, for many of you who have been on our program, you will know that Dr. Clemen Chiang's wisdom and how he has summarized a lot of news and noise in the market in a way that ordinary investor, layman can make sense of it. Dr. Clemen Chiang, thank you so very much for being on our program today again. And today we are going to discuss a very, very interesting subject, and that is the B Word conference held on the July 21st. Meet up with Cathie Wood, Jack Dorsey, and Elon Musk. So, Dr. Clemen Chiang, I'm sure you must be in that conference, and you have heard everything that these three heavyweight have discussed during the conference. So my first question to you is this. So my first question to you is, what is your take on the overall of this conference?
Wow, that's a great start to the first question, Richard, and thank you so much. That's a really, really awesome question. You know, I was waiting until 12 midnight where the B Word is scheduled for it to take place, where the three rock stars will go on stage and share. But they got delayed by about 2 hours. so we waited until about 2 a.m. in the morning. By the time the conference ended at about 3 a.m., I stayed until about 6 a.m., watched the post-market trading activities. And this is really the big takeaway. So step one, we want to track how the price of Bitcoin was performing before they came on stage, right after they came on stage, while they're speaking for 1 hour, and right after that. So we call it before, during, and after. So I want to show everybody right here, before there was a major event where the price of Bitcoin dropped and dipped below $30,000. So we were floating around $29,000 and then leading to here. Then the movement start right here, leading to the B Word conference, and kind of the price candle of Bitcoin start to shoot up. And it's been moving up from 30,000, 31,000, and finally hit the peak at 32,858. That was the moment in time when Elon Musk said something really, really important that everybody is waiting for. And that is, he announced to the world that, okay, you know what? I own Bitcoin, and Tesla own Bitcoin. And most importantly, SpaceX also own Bitcoin. And this is that piece of article. Elon Musk says Tesla will most likely restart accepting Bitcoin all over again. So that kind of get the community excited. And we hit the all-time high for that day, 32,858. 2,858. Then I'm going to fast forward from here, Richard, and after that, as they speak throughout, the price start to move down. And today, where is the price right now? This is the most interesting part. Today, we are standing at 32,915, meaning to say it has broke the high of 32,858. That was the high during the 1 hour appearance. And right now, it broke to the high of 32,915, meaning to say every one of the audience has, some of us are early movers like me. I'm following real time. Some people came in late, and the diffusion of information typically takes about 20 days before it spread to the whole world. So what exactly are we looking at right now? A very, very positive sign. It has broke above the high on the B word. That's the reason why you see across all social media and traditional media, we are saying that three of them take on the stage and move up the price of Bitcoin. This is a verified fact, and that creates a new opportunity for us. So I'm really, really excited when I see this, and I want to dive into the most important part of the conference, Richard, which is right here at this point of the video. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit more and make sure everybody can watch this very, very important segment. And I want to encourage you to listen very carefully to what Elon Musk is asking Jack Dorsey, and then focus on the facial expression of Elon Musk, right? This takes about 30 seconds. Here we go.
That's what I'm focused on. What about letting Twitter advertisers pay in crypto?
Yeah, I think enabling anyone. As you know, Elon, if we had Bitcoin or native currency for the internet before Twitter started, it just creates so many different business models that we wouldn't have to be so dependent upon advertising generally. And sure. I do believe that, that we have them, any form of payment that they want to use, we should be able to take. So absolutely, but I'm more focused on how do we create economic incentives in the network itself without having to rely on advertising.
Yeah, it's just that the money has to come off of the crypto so-called coins, the hash strings have to come off and get translated into real products and services. So the more sort of off-ramps there are to real products and services, even at the institutional level, although there are certainly many small advertisers on Twitter, it seems like accepting Bitcoin, maybe some other cryptos for advertising payments on Twitter would be supportive of Bitcoin.
100%, and also looking at just general commerce through Twitter as well.
Sorry, what, Elon?
I was asking Jack if he's going to do it.
Oh. Can we get a product announcement today? Elon, how about you? You obviously, you're a big personality on Twitter. I'm
going to put a stop on this, and that was the most awkward movement throughout the B word. And when Jack Dorsey was pushed to the corner and asked whether will he accept advertisers for Twitter to pay in Bitcoin, and an awkward movement. But I can tell you, this is the most interesting part, because he has some time to internalize this. And as a result, after the B-Word conference, this article came out. Jack Dorsey says, Bitcoin will be a big part of Twitter's future. And I want to share this particular point, Richard, because this is the moment in time when this becomes a formal announcement. The price of Bitcoin will spike up. And that's right now, we're giving all of our viewers a first view of understanding, hey, this is the moment in time. Back to you, Richard.
Wow, Clemen, that's a very, very interesting thing that you bring up. In fact, I want to add this this part of the interview whereby the price of Bitcoin go to all-time high, 60 over 1,000, is because partly because Tesla willing to accept Bitcoin. Yeah. So in May, when Tesla says that they early May or April, when they says that they are willing to accept Bitcoin as a payment, as a support to Bitcoin, the price of Bitcoin go up. And the price of Bitcoin fall a couple of reasons. One of the first indication that the price fall was because Elon Musk, Tesla stopped accepting Bitcoin. He said that Bitcoin energy usage was like polluting the environment, etc., and stopped the Tesla stopped accepting Bitcoin, and the price started to slide down. But in that conference, it has been ascertained that among these three heavyweight, the Bitcoin energy usage was shifting a lot toward renewable. And Elon Musk says that his company Tesla would likely accept Bitcoin soon. Now, and if Tesla accept Bitcoin soon, I remember that when Tesla accept Bitcoin, initially the price shoot up by $10,000 in a single spike, right? Now, if Tesla is going back to, if it's been proven and very likely that now when all the Bitcoin mining get out of China to Europe and to US, everybody is focusing on the green renewable energy to mine Bitcoin. And if Tesla go back, to accept Bitcoin again, in fact, he says that payment auction for Tesla to suspend on Bitcoin was only temporarily. This is what he says. He says that I'm not selling any Bitcoin, nor am I personally or SpaceX selling any Bitcoin. Now, if Twitter also accept Bitcoin, what do you think will be the impact of the market?
Wow, Richard, that is a powerful question because we right now got two major trigger events. Number one, about Tesla coming back to announce that they will reaccept Bitcoin as a form of payment to buy Tesla car. And I thought really hard about this. How does he, at one hand, manage the sentiments of the Chinese government, at the same time manage his millions of fans that are all waiting for him to make this major announcement? And there's a way through behind that, Richard, because I personally encountered that. I was waiting for my Tesla back then, and right now the delivery is due to come soon, and the very last step is making payment. So I posed this question to the Tesla staff or employee, and I asked them, hey, can I pay by Bitcoin because your boss has announced Tesla is accepting Bitcoin? And that was during the time right after Elon Musk has announced. And guess what was the reply? This is only applicable for the US market, not for any non-outside US market. So if that is being true, he can still go out and announce Tesla is accepting Bitcoin without antagonizing the Chinese, where the Chinese government right now is just all out against Bitcoin. So number one point is very important. Number 2 point is for Twitter to accept Bitcoin is going to be huge. And they are already talking at the B-Word conference such that if anyone is tweeting, can that also be a process of mining? And so everybody will even tweet even more and contribute to the process of being energy efficient. And then, of course, many other ideas were spoken out by using nuclear energy, thermal energy, wind energy, and so on. But that being said, the whole game plan is to make energy efficient, stop tapping on the fossil fuel. And that's the reason why rock stars like Jack Dorsey of Square and Twitter should take the lead. Rock stars like Elon Musk for Tesla and SpaceX should also equally take the lead. That was awesome, Richard.
Okay, well, I also watched the conference, and initially I thought there would be like a argument kind of debate, because we all see that Jack Dorsey and Elon Musk, they have kind of initially they have different opinion, right, on Bitcoin. But in the conference, in the debate, I find that everyone is level-headed. They give very considerate argument and very measured tone, right? I mean, it's like really, really on the same side of the coin, yeah. And Cathie Wood, being corporate, very, very corporate and institutionalized segment of this whole cryptocurrency industry, and she says that more and more institution is going to come on board and perhaps look at a portion of their portfolio to invest in cryptocurrency. So Dr. Clemen, how do you see this whole institution coming in to affect the movement of the Bitcoin? But do you see institution now more open to putting a small portion of their portfolio, and what is the impact to the Bitcoin price if this will happen, if this will ever be happening?
This is spot on, because right at the B Word conference, Katie Wood kind of let the cat out of the bag, because she mentioned a big pain in the marketplace today, which is the remittance market. So she's suggesting that, hey, perhaps we should use cryptocurrency usage in the 700 billion remittance market. This is mega news. And straight away, kind of identifying which are the pain points, because today, some of the countries out there are paying in the form of 8 to 30% of every $100 that they send back to their family members. So that is a social responsibility, I would submit, as spoken by Katie Woods. So that's the reason also why, countries like El Salvador, we are also looking at countries like Tonga, where in the case of the Kingdom of Tonga, 30% of the GDP fully depends on remittance itself. So, you have a tweet coming from Lord Fusitoa, and that's from Tonga itself. He's saying that, hey, we got to look into this really big pain in the market, and perhaps Bitcoin is coming here to solve this $556 billion pain point. And that is the whole gist of it. So, you raise a very big important point, and that is, are institutions looking at it right now? Yes, absolutely. Are we expecting the price to go up right now? Yes, absolutely. Because all this putting together is to kind of give the rock solid foundation. And that's the reason why when we go back to the bword.org, everything there is going to be kept forever as the first milestone right now. And that's the reason why every single speaker kind of attack and address every single possible question or doubt or dilemma raised by anybody, especially the regulators. So that is the big outcome from the B word.
Wow. Very exciting. So when institution money come in, it will be trillions of dollars. And due to the supply and demand, definitely when trillions of dollars come into the Bitcoin market, it will really drive the Bitcoin price. Now, in the long term, as we have mentioned, we are very sure that Bitcoin price will skyrocket. Now, of course, there's a definition of long term in crypto, maybe a lot shorter than long term in stock, right? And in property. So when I say long term, we are sure that the Bitcoin price will rocket to 100,000. In fact, many predicted that this year it will be 100,000, 200,000, 500,000, or even a million. So that is long term. But my question to you, Dr. Clemen, is in the short term, there's all this volatility. Where do you see the short-term support and resistance level of Bitcoin price?
Wow, that's a great question, Richard. So with regards to this question, we always come back and check the important price level. So I'm going to switch right now the candle over to a one-day candle. So let's click on it right here. This is the one-day candle. And, I want to give you the 3-step flow to understanding pricing. Step 1, we go back to the 15-minute candle. All right. Now, the 15-minute candle will kind of give us the perspective. So right over here, let me just adjust the candle, and we're going to catch this idea very fast. Step 1, we saw this major breakthrough. All right. This is the major breakthrough we were expecting, because before the conference, price went down to test the 30,000 range, and then price move up. And just like 1 or 2 hours at the start of the conference, price spiked all the way to 32,000 range. And that's the reason why right over there, we kind of draw up this box. And today, it has broke the previous high of the 32,800. Today, we are at 32,900. Now, this is step 1, looking at the 15-minute candle. You are beginning to spot this kind of pattern. Now, this pattern here looks like a face smiling at you. All right. Now, if I come and put over here and I put a big smile over here, again, it looks like a face smiling at you, right? So remember this pattern, because I'm going to go to step 2 right now when we switch back to a 1 day. Now, 1 day right here, you are looking at the half of the face formation. This is the all-time high right now. And we kind of move to the right. Again, this is an all-time high. And then if I kind of be a little bit of cheeky, this is the nose. And then this is the mouth. Again, we are expecting the price to easily go back to the previous high and break it. And the immediate break will be 65,000. So everything that we are speaking about right now is this smiley face. We are at step 2. Then what does it take, Richard, for us to go to step 3, for this to come to pass? It's everything that was spoken by the 3 rock stars. So let's sum it up. We have Katie Woods right here, who's telling everybody, look, there is a gap right now in the marketplace. We are solving real pain points. We are looking at, remittance through the traditional ACH method, or what we call the SWIFT wire transfer method. Many third world developing countries are paying a pain, and that pain needs to be addressed. And that solution is Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Step 1. Step 2, then she goes out and say, why don't we Invest also launch our very own Bitcoin ETF, which she did. And right now there's a pile up of queues waiting for Securities Exchange Chairman Gary Gensler to give the approval. It is a yes, it's a question of when. It's no longer about yes or no. It is a yes, but a question of when the approval will be given. And finally, the third part, which draw the attention of our Treasury Sec, and that's none other than Janet Yellen. She already started the conversation and say, we need to look at cryptocurrency, we need to look at stable coins. And as a result, Fed Chairman Jerome Powell has to publish a paper in September, kind of state the position of the federal thinking. Where do they stand as a regulator? And finally, we're waiting for the chairman of Securities Exchange Commission, Gary Gensler, to give the green light. And that's it. The floodgate will be open. This smiley face shall come to pass. Yes, Richard.
Wow. That's amazing. Yeah. Another all-time highs, and we expect the BTC price to break that to another new level. Now, Dr. Clemen, you mentioned about ETF. Just yesterday, another ETF was filed, and that's by Global X. Now, Global X is the latest firm to file for Bitcoin ETF. Now, there are, like you mentioned, there are many ETF applications in the US, and with ETF being applied, when ETF is approved in the US, many people can now get involved in Bitcoin or invest in Bitcoin, right? And that will increase the number of adoption. But I have a question for you. I know that Canada, they have ETF, Brazil, they have ETF. I think Australia is coming up, and many other countries already have ETF. US is ding dong in. But my question for you is this: why are there no ETF in Asia? And also, how does ETF going to impact the Bitcoin price?
Wow, that's a great and very sharp, pointed question, because we kind of distinct ourselves, Asia versus the US, European markets. In fact, Richard, give you a quick update. The European markets has already accepted Bitcoin ETF. Canada has already accepted Bitcoin ETF. The last man standing right now is the US market, because this represents the largest of them all, the mother of all ETF, because every single wealth of the American is right now locked in the US market, and that represents the key to the floodgate. So I'm going to switch over right now here to Bitcoin Magazine and kind of give a quick update of what you just shared with us, Richard. And that is Global X, which is a subsidiary of the 560 billion investment manager, files for Bitcoin ETF. Now, this is just one of the dozens right now on queue. And as we kind of go down right here, why do they need to file? Because all these guys, we are not talking about managing few $100 million. Their asset under management, AUM, is by the billions. So their money is so big, they can't just go out there and buy any stock. That would literally mean a complete acquisition. Especially you look at the market cap of Asian stocks. It's too small for them. They need a bigger pie to kind of swallow up with the amount of cash under their management. That's why they are all aiming at the Bitcoin ETF. So when I kind of scroll down right here, another big player is Grayscale. And they are already don't care about waiting for green light or red light anymore, Richard. They are right now saying that we just take for granted you will be approved. And I'm going to just go out there, start the infrastructure work. Now, what do I mean by start the infrastructure work? Right here, this paragraph is really important to us because he is telling us that, hey, I'm going to start already working with the Bank of New York Mellon, BNY Mellon, to administer the ETF, even though it's not approved yet. Because I'm going to start to look at accounting, tax, financial reporting for the maintenance and operations of the trust. We're acting like an escrow. So they don't really care already. They already start the infrastructure work. They take for granted this should be done. And over here, these are the superheroes that are also launching the Bitcoin ETF. We are looking at the likes of Valkyrie, NYDIG, Van Eyck, Skybridge Capital, Fidelity have all filed for their own Bitcoin ETF offering. This is huge. And even though the SEC has delayed every single one of them, the outlook has arguably been approving. And that's the reason why SEC is under pressure right now, because the public is telling them, hey, you got to approve it. You can't just sit around. The bottleneck is you right now, not the rest. Everyone has gone all the way out to kind of build up their infrastructure. And that's the reason why right over here, this is really important. The former CFTC chair, Timothy Massad, and CFTC, Richard, is the largest, the godfather of all exchanges, even bigger than the SEC. All right, explain how a Bitcoin ETF could benefit investors and regulators alike. And they are already speaking like a regulator itself. And, you know, they can't walk away from this anymore. And that's the reason why this is a huge topic. Coming back to Asia right now, Asia, we are still small. We are always lagging behind. But the good news is this. I think among Asia countries, Singapore is really leading the pack. And that's the reason why most of the crypto or Bitcoin players are right now flooding the small little island because they know we are crypto friendly. And, you know, our sovereign wealth fund, Temasek, through Vertex, has already invested into Binance. So one of the most critical thing is that recently, Binance boss has appeared in a Straits Times interview. So I'm going to kind of put out this article and let you all see why it's so important and strangely correlated to the mainstream media in Singapore. Right over here, let's check out this article. This is Straits Times, the #1 media mouthpiece of Singapore, and they are coming out with an explainer. Binance, the giant crypto exchange, under regulatory scrutiny. I mean, they are coming out to explain on their behalf, you know. You know, Richard, when I look at this article, holy moly, we got a crypto-friendly media right here, kind of giving Binance a gateway to explain from their perspective, instead of all the regulators of the world coming after Binance. And this is a really, really important article. How big is Binance? Where is based? And it's coming under scrutiny from regulators. They just put out the facts and let the readers make their own decision. But this, I think, is a very positive first step. And that's the reason why I believe Singapore will take the lead in this space, kind of be the lead regulator to formulate what it takes for crypto to formalize becoming a critical asset class among regulators, investors, regular investors like all of us.
Yeah, Dr. Clemen, thank you for bringing the article out. In fact, when I first read that article about CZEC's reply, and CZEC says that it's good that the regulator is now looking at all the exchange, because this is how we can move the industry ahead, right? Because many of these industry are ahead of regulator. So he's positive of it. In fact, yesterday, Jack Dorsey, or 2 days ago, Jack Dorsey, during the interview, he said this. He says that he is very, very passionate about Bitcoin because similarly, he's very passionate about internet because the internet industry is what give him his life today. Today he's wealthy, he live a good life. It's because of the internet industry. Now he mentioned this. He mentioned that Bitcoin is in the infancy, just like the infancy of internet at that time, where there's a lot of changes, there's a lot of development. But once it becomes matured, right, Bitcoin will be a superstar, super heavyweight instrument for people to create wealth. So, Dr. Clemen, what have you got to say to that?
Yeah, and that's a great point raised by you, Richard. You know, it says exactly here by Jack Dorsey, it reminds me of the early internet. And this is what inspired him the most about Bitcoin. And you know, he's just really being very grateful. Internet has transformed him to be one of the richest men in the US, owning Square, owning Twitter. Both are public companies, doing extremely well. In fact, you know, we just invested into Twitter last night, and today they announced the fastest ever revenue growth post-pandemic. So tonight we are expecting the stock price to kind of go spiking up, really crazy. And then when we look at what he's saying over here, is really, really passionate, right? Every single thing that he says kind of rhymes with our thinking. Number one, it is deeply principled. It's as weird as hell as it's always evolving. It just reminded me of the internet as a kid. So he said that my hope is that creates or helps create world peace. And that is what Bitcoin represents. That's what the future of cryptocurrency represents. But we always start off with Bitcoin as the first coin and thereby rally the entire community into the world of digital currency. So this is really, really huge, coming from someone who put money on the table, coming from someone who recently, you know, created a fund just to create the platform to kind of transact on Bitcoin using the hardware and the software side of things. Yes, Richard.
Yeah, in fact, you know, I'm very impressed when he made the statement. Now, being the CEO and founder of Twitter and also the founder of Square, these are two amazing companies. He says this, he says that if Bitcoin need him, he's willing to give up Twitter. I'm surprised he said that, you know, because Twitter is so powerful. And he said, I'm willing to give up Twitter. I'm going to give up Square just to be full-time, to delegate his life on Bitcoin. Wow, that's really, really amazing statement that he made. It shows how passionate he is on Bitcoin. Now, I'm also very passionate on Bitcoin, and that's the reason why we are organizing the Global Bitcoin Festival this October, because we believe that Bitcoin is an instrument, financial instrument that can help people create wealth, not only for themselves, but for generations to come. So the Bitcoin, the Global Bitcoin Festival is a gathering of industrial expert and enthusiastic community of Bitcoin holder to update, promote education and adoption of Bitcoin. It is a movement. Now, Dr. Clemen, what can you say to those who want to know more about Bitcoin and capitalize on this opportunity?
Yes, Richard, this is a really, really great starting point for anyone interested in cryptocurrency, especially Bitcoin taking the lead. And I want to share with all of you this page called the Global Bitcoin Festival. This is really exciting to me. It's a one-day virtual experience cryptocurrency seminar. And as all of you know, Success Resources is the undisputed world's #1 event organizer. They have put together really world-class speakers, and I'm so excited about this event because this is Success Resources taking the lead with Richard Tan as our head honcho, inspiring people across the world in this movement of cryptocurrency. Now, the way I look at it is this is unlike any other event out there. This is a generation shift of wealth event. If you are thinking about a generational wealth, not just for your generation, not just for your children, not just for your grandchildren, let me tell you straight, digital currency will change over the next 50 to 100 years. This is a generational wealth asset class instrument. You need to know more about it. You need to come forward to take part in this event. And to me, you know, in fact, you could quickly sign up and go and take the front row seats, be the very first on the queue, and really get plugged into the community and stick together with us as we move towards to the date. These days are really important, and that is 28, 29 of October. And when I look at this date, Richard, this reminds me of the fact that those were the days at the very peak, PEAK, the peak announcement of Bitcoin ETF, because we're expecting November, December for Bitcoin to shoot through to the moon. And that's why those 2 days are really, really critical and sensitive. I welcome all of you. Like me, I'm so excited to join this event. Thank you, Richard, for hosting this event. Thank you very much.
Wow. Okay, so those of you who are interested to know more about this event, there's a link below. So click on the link to sign up for the event or to get to know more about the event. As I say, this is a movement. This is a movement to promote the adoption and to promote the education of Bitcoin. And I'll tell you the advantage of being in a movement is that you can be not yourself alone, but with a community of people, so that you can have, there's a positive energy, there's excitement, it's electrifying just to be in the movement. So this is the global Bitcoin movement, and we are going to attract many, many, many thousands of people into this movement through the Global Bitcoin Festival. Now, there is a question here. There's a question by Dia Anwar. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. He said, what level would you recommend to buy at, or should I wait for further move down? I want to invest, but unsure when. So let me answer the question based on my own experience. Then I'll pass back to Dr. Clemen for his wisdom. Okay. Now, Dia, the cryptocurrency, like Bitcoin, many people say that they are very volatile. That means it has gone from $1 to the high of 10,000 to 20,000 to 30,000 to 40,000 to 60,000. Now, you see that the trend is going up, but there are times in between that it actually does come down. Like, for example, a month ago, it was 60 over 1,000, and it went down to 30,000. But in the long term, it is always going up. So if I were you, I would get in, any time that I'm comfortable with. I'm not going to wait for it to be very low. The reason is this. The reason is that do you want to wait for it to go down to 10,000 or 5,000 or 1,000? Because that day will never come. But along the way, there will be people who discourage you. There will be people who, maybe your neighbor or your good friend, they say, hey, why do you get into this? And then slowly your interest will caught up. Your interest will probably be discouraged, and then you probably will drop out. And if you drop out, you will miss the total opportunity. So when you are in an environment, when you feel that this is the right thing to do, I encourage you to just follow your heart and go for it. And also, you come and join the Global Bitcoin Festival so that you are with the people who are positive. You are in the place where there's a high energy, for the adoption. You are in the movement that encourage one another to create wealth. Not only wealth for yourself, but for generation to come. So my answer is that when you feel okay, just go in. Even if you go down a little bit further, don't worry, because in the long run, when I say long run, it's not like 50 years, just a short while. It will also go up again, So this is my sharing for you, and I like Dr. Clemen to give his more learned opinion. Dr. Clemen.
Actually, Richard, my thinking is really, really simple. Since I fell in love with Bitcoin, I'm fully invested into Bitcoin, and we must have a vision in mind. My vision is this smiley face man. I'm sorry, my drawing not that great, but I just know that right now we are in this place at the mouth level, the chin level, where we are smiling, and the price will eventually go back to the previous rate box. The previous rate box all-time high is 64,800. Now, this is the signal. And the question that you should really ask yourself is, do you want to get in right now or wait until the price go back to the previous high of 68,000? Then you're going to start banging your chest and get yourself upset. So that's the reason why this is the moment in time we are all catching the spike. We are all catching the spike. And can I tell you, by the time Bitcoin ETF is announced, it is easily a minimum 100,000 per coin. That is no brainer. Every single one of the speaker in the bword.org, they are saying one single theme. This is the only instrument with a fixed supply of 21 million. And as more and more people get adopted, supply is fixed, demand goes up, law of economics of demand and supply, the price will shoot through the roof. And you're not competing right now with your neighbors, or your colleagues, or your relatives. You are competing with the big fat whales out there. So the question is, you want to get in before them or after them? So I think this is the way, I look at it, and we really keep up this smiley face and keeping this vision inside, because right now, clearly, we are right now in the middle. We can't see the full face yet, but, you take this little risk, and that's the reason why you should claim to be a champion.
Thank you so very much. Okay, I'd like to thank everybody. Remember, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, every day we will be sharing with you the latest knowledge and wisdom in the market. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Dr. Clemen Chiang. Till we see you again next week. This is Richard Tan. Wish you well, health, and happiness in your life. Thank you so very much.